I guess you talked a bit about getting out in the world and seeing what's out there, and obviously I find that meeting people is just massively beneficial for my development. Part of the reason I started this podcast, so to get to talk to people. How important in your leadership development, your career, have relationships, networks been? What part have they played?
Massive. I didn't realize. I didn't realize it was something I was doing actually when I was in Rolls Royce submarines. It's something I've always reflecting now. Something I've always done, and I'm not bad at it. Forming relationships and networks in Rolls Royce submarines. It was difficult because you had the security. You didn't often go off site. I was on secondment in Abbey Wood in Bristol for a couple of years, and that's when I first started to realise those relationships so important. When I went back into the company, I could pick the phone up to people who others couldn't pick the phone up to because I'd played five-a-side with them the night before in Bristol or whatever I'd done. So I then realised it's worth the investment of time. That sounds like it's really deceitful or something. It's not. But if you enjoy formulations and if you can, then go and do it. Some people don't like doing it, but unfortunately, that's part of the job. If you're going to be in that job, you've got to be able to socialise. I don't mean that on an evening. I mean get on with people, be able to understand people. Again, converse with them, and I realised it's something that I was okay at. So when I moved into the civil part of Rolls Royce, that was what I was doing. I don't speak fluent Chinese, but I was trying to go over to China, Japan, and France, and US, Canada to try and represent the company. But some of the people I met, I didn't realise at the time, but I quickly realised afterwards they will move on, and they were fairly senior at the time, and people tend to move either across or up. So before I knew it, somebody that I'd met over here was now the leader of another organisation over there, and that was a really valuable relationship. And so today, I've a year in almost November the 1st will be a year of running a NUCOL existing nuclear collaboration. In my opinion, although the team are brilliant, it wouldn't exist if we hadn't got some relationships that we could fall back on. I don't mean that in any way other than people to talk to, friends, colleagues, people that can advise, help me. It's quite a lonely place sometimes as a person in charge of an organisation, and people to talk to, have a moan to, have a cry, just have a chat. People that can also help you from an experience point of view to maybe advise you. And I think those relationships are so important to me now. I realised that developing them way back then was something that just happened, but it's a real skill. And I know there are lots of courses you can go on. My best advice to anybody is invest some time to go to some of these networking events. Nuclear Institute, Nuclear Industry Association, IMECI, Institute of whoever, they'll all run events. It doesn't matter what it is. Get amongst it and just test yourself. Just test yourself, remembering names, where they came from, and then go back around and see if you can converse and find a common denominator. I think that if you can do that and learn that skill, it will stay with you through your career. A bit like you're doing, Matt, with these things. These podcasts. It's a way of you forming that relationship with people, not just the people you're interviewing, but the people that are following you. It's a network, and networks are what makes everything happen, in my opinion.